So guys, I'm out here for a night drive and driving a 180. This thing's so much fun to drive. The air fuels are okay-ish. At full throttle, it's still going to straight 10, so I have to figure that out. I have to bring it to the shop, but Jack has to go through it and do a little bit of tuning on it still. But under just cruising stuff, we're at 14, 15 AFRs. But under here, the coolant is still super hot. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm going to go ahead and go to LKQ tomorrow, or You Pull You Pay, and see if I can't find a couple fans that are electric to go onto this thing. Our Lincoln Town cars, like the later models, have 2 electric fans in them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna take the electric fans out and I'm gonna snip the harness so that I have a plug for it. And I'm just gonna loop the harness together and then just have it so that it plugs in, and so that when one of them turns on, they both turn on, and then this thing's just gonna stay really, really cold once the fans turn on. So that's what's gonna go on with this, and I hope that'll all work. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. So guys, today is like a couple of days later. It's obviously super late. It's like 9:30 at night, and I'm working on a 180 here. What we're gonna do right now is we're actually gonna go ahead and pop this thermostat out completely. One, because we have E-fans and the car will not start doing its thing until after the E-fans start working. Wow, I just noticed that I have a huge like dent in my fins up there. So yeah, so the fan won't turn on until the car actually gets up to temp. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pop that thermostat out, get rid of that thing for right now, see if that's not our problem that's making us overheat. And I'm gonna go ahead and order some E-fans, like another set, like so that it has 2 with a shroud and everything, later on this week, and we'll get those things ordered up. So but tonight what we're going to do is we're going to take that out and we're just going to finish up, just do a small little video on this and bleed it, and then take it for a quick ride and see if it doesn't overheat. Actually, it should just overheat just sitting here, and then me just like taking it down the street and back. So we'll do that. So that's about it though, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into this real quick. Okay guys, so it was going pretty good. I took the thermostat out and then it just started draining coolant out, so I got a little mad at that. Put the thermostat back in. I cleaned this thing off though. This thing's all ready to go back together. I need to put some RTV on this thing when that thing goes back in, but what I need to do is I need to clean this all off down here so that this has a nice surface now too. And then I can go ahead and put the RTV onto this and then sandwich this thing back together. But the thing is that like this thing keeps leaking some coolant out, and I don't want it to leak all the coolant out, because then that means I have to get a bunch of coolant for it. So I need to actually figure out how I can keep the coolant in there. I have the car on a little bit of an angle to try to keep it in there, but it doesn't seem like it's doing that, and it's starting to rain too. So I have to figure this out pretty quickly, and we're just gonna get right to it and pull that thing out and get some RTV on there and then try to sandwich it back together and see how it works. So let's keep moving on this thing. Stupid thing just keeps puking out coolant, and like I don't want it to, so this thing's just garbage. This is stupid. And like I have it on an angle, so I don't know what the heck else to do. It's the most dumbest thing in the freaking world. So I'm just about to just turn it down and let it just all drain out, and then go ahead and buy some more coolant for it, I guess. Whatever. So kind of mad, but screw it, I guess. Okay, so the thermostat is out. I resealed all of that, and now it just has to dry up a little bit. I kind of jumped the gun and I put the coolant hose back onto it, so it saw coolant right away. I don't know how long it's gonna hold, but we'll eventually get a thermostat for it anyways, and we'll put that back in. But for right now, we're gonna go ahead and see if that fixes the problem. The other thing that I need to do is I need to go get coolant, because as you saw, it just drained all the coolant out. I have a little bit of coolant so that I could have topped it off, but I didn't have enough coolant so that I could just refill it. So I'm actually gonna go to Walmart and go get some distilled water. I'm actually gonna stop at the shop and go grab my burping machine so that I can put that on here and put the little funnel on, and it'll just burp itself. So other than that little bit, we're gonna go ahead and clean up our tools, take the flashlight down and close the hood so that if it rains while we're gone, nothing's gonna get all soaking wet. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that, and I'll be back in a little bit. So guys, me and Alex decided to go to Walmart real quick and come and pick up some distilled water so we can fill up the 180 with that. And no, you can't put regular water in there, dude. That rusts your insides. You can't do that. So we put we're getting the distilled water. We also ran to the shop, sorry dude, and we got the piece that we needed, so we're gonna go back to the house soon. So guys, we made it back to the house, and you know, my Nismo radiator cap is super sick and stuff, but I don't want to mess it up, and I don't want it to get like even worse than it already is, because it's kind of faded. It's got some wear marks on it and stuff like that. So I want to keep this thing really good, really nice looking. So we're just going to put this on for car shows and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and put that thing right there for right now and just leave that one there. And I have this generic one, just says normal stuff on it. So we're going to go ahead and put this one in, and yeah, we're going to put this thing on so that it sits in there. But you know, this thing has had some time to cure the RTV. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pour some coolant into this thing. We're going to let it drain into the motor. We already have the car on a slant, so that's really good. And I bought some distilled water and some regular full strength coolant right there. We're going to dump all this stuff in, and we're going to go ahead and start up the car and let it idle and just burp itself. So let's go ahead and get to that. Okay guys, so we have the SR running. Got a little rough there, but we got it running, burping, doing its thing. Let it run for a couple minutes, let the air bubbles come out, and we should be good in a matter of like 5 minutes. So then we're gonna go ahead and take it for a quick ride and see if it overheats. If it doesn't, then we're all set. Ooh, that was a lot of fun. So if it doesn't, then we're all set. But if it does, then we got to keep working on it and figuring out what we got to do. So guys, the car is actually running really good right now. It hasn't overheated just yet. I let it warm up in the driveway. I moved it out. I took it down the street. Since it was already warmed up, I did a pull down the street. Nothing happened. No temp went up. Nothing happened. Once I got past our little speed bump section down here, I did another like decent pull down this way. Still not overheating. I turned it around, did like a kind of pull, and still not overheating. The fan turned on again, and the coolant temp is staying right where I want it to stay, right in the low to mid range right there, and that is absolutely awesome. So we might not need another fan, but two fans won't hurt. So I think what our problem was that our thermostat was just really, really old and it just needed to be replaced. So that's what we did. So we're gonna go ahead and get the heck on out of here because there's a person right there and we need to go. So guys, in conclusion, that seemed to have fixed the problem that I was having with the 180, the overheating problem. So I think we're gonna call it on that thing. I'm still gonna order some fans. I'm still gonna install those and get that all set up so that if anything else happens, the fans will just take over and just cool the entire motor down. So yeah, I'll probably end up getting a different thermostat for it eventually too, but for right now, I'm okay with not running one and just having it circulate, and the E-fans definitely take care of it all. So I really like that. I think what is happening now is the coolant, it's doing its job now by circulating through all of it, and it's actually cooling it down a lot better now. The second half of the radiator is actually cooling more than it used to, because now the coolant just flows straight through everything and constantly is moving, instead of like sitting in the engine waiting for the thermostat to open, then going into the radiator, then going back in and doing its whole thing. So we're getting a good circulation now. The fan's doing really good, and yeah, that's about it. So guys, more to come later on this week. Spacers look good. Car's looking good. I think the only thing that I need to buy now is the hydro, and we can get that all set up. So have to see what the finances are looking towards the end of this week, and then maybe we can order that thing. But if not, especially, we'll do it as right when we get paid next month, next week. And yeah. So guys, if you want to continue to watch this stuff, don't forget to stay tuned for more stuff to come with the 180. This fly is bothering me right now. And yeah, thanks for watching the last video. Really good, guys. And I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna stop rambling. Don't forget to wash your car. Yada, yada, yada. See you later. Okay, guys, so just to wrap up the end, after the end, there's one really cool thing that's happening at the end of this week. I'm going to go pick up the valve cover for the SR, and it looks sick. The powder coater sent me a picture of it today, and I can't wait to go see it in person and actually get the parts so that we can put it on there. reseal that valve cover, just really look at the insides, and start planning for some internal stuff that we're going to start doing. So that's about it though, guys. Stay tuned for some more.